what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we're doing the recap from the Saturday, September 24th ESPN card that saw Joyce versus Joseph Parker for the WBO interim heavyweight title. I'm just going to discuss the main event. There really wasn't much on the undercard that I thought to talk about. This was a huge fight between these two for the interim heavyweight title at heavyweight, because you had Joyce, the undefeated contender on the rise, older though. I mean, very much older heavyweight on the rise. I think the guy's 36 years old. Had a very late start, but he's undefeated, and this was the biggest fight of his career. Not just for what he was going to achieve by becoming the WBO interim champion, but he was facing a former world champion in Joseph Parker, who, you know, is still in his prime years, in my opinion, because he was only like 29, 30 heading into this fight. He was a former champ. Only losses were to Anthony Joshua and Dillian White coming in. So Joyce had a major opportunity to show what he was truly made of. We didn't really know, because his biggest win to date prior to this was his 11th round knockout, where he was down on 2 cards of Daniel Dubois, who is another undefeated fighter on the rise. Hadn't been truly tested himself yet. Well, now Joyce has proven himself, because Joseph Parker, a legitimate heavyweight fighter, former champ, who had been in there against the best in the division, and Joyce just went in there and broke down Joseph Parker, the former champ, and knocked him out in the 11th round impressively. So Joyce, just what a performance. And you know, Parker was competitive in this fight. He was, but he couldn't keep Joyce off of him. Joyce has just aggressiveness to him that's it's very youthful. And like I said, he might be 35, 36 years old, but he started late, and now he's just really looking good. And the knockout afforded him and gave him the WBO interim heavyweight title, which puts him in line to fight the winner of, or to fight Alexander Usyk. But obviously, the reason why this was made into an interim fight is the WBO, along with the other governing bodies, want the undisputed fight between Usyk and Tyson Fury to happen next year. And if that fight goes through for the undisputed, then there's going to be a boatload of #1 contenders. But essentially, in my opinion, Joyce just basically won the WBO heavyweight title. And the reason I say that is he is going to be a feared fighter now after this win over Parker. A guy like Usyk, and he's not a huge name, a guy like Usyk or Tyson Fury, these two guys have retirement plans on their brain. Tyson Fury wants to retire very soon, and I think next year is going to be his last year in the sport. I think he's going to go for undisputed, and if he beats Alexander Usyk and unifies all 4 belts, outside of potentially a showdown with either Anthony Joshua or maybe Andy Ruiz, if Andy Ruiz beats Deontay Wilder, I don't see Tyson Fury fighting anybody else, and definitely not somebody as threatening as Joyce. And then Alexander Usyk, if he were to beat Fury, I think if he were to beat Fury, there's probably going to be a rematch clause in a contract for Fury. But he says he wants to do 3 fights and done. I really don't think he's going to want to fight a guy like Joyce either. So Joyce is going to be avoided by the top guys right there that are on their way out the door. But when that happens, when those guys say, nope, we don't want to fight him, he gets upgraded to full champion, and then he becomes a target. And that's exactly what he wants, because there's other guys in the division. Daniel Dubois would love a rematch with him, and he's probably going to be your next WBA champion, because I highly doubt Usyk is going to want to fight Dubois, who's the WBA regular champ right now. That's going to make Dubois the WBA champ. Then you got other guys wanting to take over the other belts and get in line. So Joyce really has set himself up here in a major way big time win, knocking out Joseph Parker, and he's likely going to be the next WBO champion. But you also still, but Joseph Parker, let's show him some love. But where does this put him? We'll discuss that, what he's going to do next in his What's Next video next week. But, tough loss might buck him down to kind of a gatekeeper kind of role. But the guy obviously still has some juice. He just ran into a very good fighter in Joyce and a hungry guy. And Parker still might get opportunities. We'll discuss that a little bit more in detail on his What's Next video. But tough loss, but he definitely went out on his shield and proved that he's still a banger and he still wants to fight the best and beat the best. And you gotta hand it to, you really gotta hand it to Joseph Parker for getting in the ring and going after the best and fighting the best fighters on the rise as well, the former champ. So tough loss for him, but nothing to hang his head about. Very good win for the new WBO interim champion and undefeated Joyce. And that's what I got. That's the Joyce versus Parker ESPN recap from Saturday, September 24th. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been here with the truth.